Hi there, this is Teri from stampinmagic.com. Welcome back to my channel. Today's project is this simple but lovely card. The main image comes from the very vintage Hostess stamp set. And for the background technique that I'm going to show you today, I used this stamp from the Bokeh Dots stamp set. Before we get started, I wanted to show you this card quickly. Now this is one that I'd completed after I'd finished recording. I used the same colours of ink that I'll use in today's video, but I also used the alternate stamp from the Bokeh Dots set for the background. So you can use either stamp for this technique, and I actually prefer the result I get with this second stamp. I love the little white stars that are scattered throughout the background. I think it just makes it look so pretty. I do have another video that shows you how to get consistently great results using your Bokeh Dots stamp set, and I'll add a card linking to this at the top of the screen. I'm using soft seafoam ink and my rubber brayer to ink up the stamp. I've removed the excess ink from the brayer before adding the remainder to the stamp. Now I'm going to start with my lightest colour ink, and that's Petal Pink, and I'm going to use a sponge dauber to pick up some ink and position it onto the stamp, just randomly. My next colour is Pool Party, and again I'm going to randomly place this all over the stamp, but this time I'll also overlap some of the Petal Pink ink. Finally, I'm going to use some Highland Heather, and again just place it randomly onto the stamp, overlapping some of the Petal Pink and some of the Pool Party. I think the hardest thing about doing this background is knowing when to stop. Before stamping this image onto Whisper White cardstock, I have huffed on the stamp. Now because it's taken me a while to prepare this background stamp, some of the ink would have already dried. So with huffing on it, the moisture in your breath will reactivate that ink. I'm going to use my Stampin' Jig to position my stamped image today. Now unfortunately Stampin' Up no longer sells these, but you can purchase them from elsewhere, from places like Amazon. I have another video that shows you how to use the Stampin' Jig and get the best out of it, and I'll put an information card linking to this video at the top of the screen. So I'm using the image from the very vintage stamp set, and I'm inking this up with Stays On ink. I've used my imaging sheet to work out where I want this image to be stamped, and I've positioned my handle ready to accept the stamp. So now I can stamp the image, and it's stamped in exactly the place that I wanted it to be. I'm going to use the same process to position the sentiment. So I'm using my imaging sheet to work out exactly where I want to stamp that, and I've positioned my handle in the top left corner of that imaging sheet. Then I'm going to ink up my stamp, position it inside the handle and stamp it down. Next you want to trim down your image sheet to leave a narrow white border all the way round. I've trimmed mine to 7 centimeters by 9.8 centimeters, and then I've cut a piece of black cardstock slightly larger than this. Mine measures 7.4 centimeters by 10.2 centimeters, and you want to layer these together and then add some dimensionals on the reverse. My card base is basic black, and it's half a sheet of card scored at the halfway point and folded to create a portrait card. I then have a piece of Twinkle Twinkle paper to go on the front of that card. To decorate the inside of the card, I have a strip of black cardstock and also another thin strip of that Twinkle Twinkle paper. Now I'm going to layer the paper onto the black card, and then I'll use my guillotine to cut that down to the size I want. I just like to have a narrow black border above the paper. And then I'll add that strip onto my Whisper White mat and then position that inside my card base. And then all I need to do is position my image panel. So remove the backings from the dimensionals and then position the image onto the card. And that's my card complete, and here it is with the original card I did. Even though I used exactly the same colours as I did the first time, you will never get the exact same result. I have been experimenting with some different colours. This first card uses colours from the Brights collection. This next one uses colours all from the Neutrals collection, and this last one uses colours mostly from the Regals collection. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Bye for now.